Welcome back, I'm Tedward, and today, in collaboration with the Bond Group in Waltham, Massachusetts, we're driving a Series 1 Jaguar E-Type Coupe, for those who are going to flame me for saying Coupe or Jaguar. But yeah, this is a 1967 Coupe. Last week, we drove a 71 Coupe, and they are very different in shape. But this March is actually the 60th anniversary of the E-Type Jag, the Jaguar XKE, the car that Enzo Ferrari, I'm going to repeat this, said was the most beautiful car in the world. And honestly, this thing is just awesome. It'll do 0 to 60 in under 6.5 seconds, but rather than wasting our time on facts and figures that you can read on your own, let's go see how it drives. And to secure this, forward and over, do the same on the other side. We should probably put a license plate on it though, huh? Maybe it'll ruin the lines, but oh God, I love this car. Unlike the Series 3, the startup procedure is a little bit different. Instead of having the ignition on the column traditionally, we have it right up front and center, kind of old Ferrari style. Give it a little bit of choke, and that is our starter button. Good neutral, clutch in. This thing just sounds outrageous. And I'm sure you've already noticed that this one has an appropriate 4-speed manual gearbox. First gear, straightforward. No power steering on the Series 1 cars like we have in the Series 3, so you've got to get it moving just a little bit if you want it to steer freely, but it's a light car. It's under 2,500 pounds as far as I can tell. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, she's not heavy. Super solid, robust gearbox. That's what's really cool about this car, is that you get in and you immediately feel comfortable driving it. Even though this is a fairly small cabin too, it's not constrictive because there's so much visibility with all the glass, and there's a lot of headroom. It's weird because like you've got this small little windshield, but it still feels like rather spacious inside. I could do with some side mirrors. That's always a nice safety treat, but you know what? We can't have it all. In any Jag, you're keeping a close eye on all your gauges to make sure that your water temp is good. This one's running really nicely. I haven't creeped over the center line on that water temp gauge. That's always good to know. These skinny little Vredestein tires, they're doing a good job, but I'm feeling everything through the wheel, and the limits are not that high. In terms of gearing, I'm definitely getting Ferrari 250 GT vibes. I know that the 250 GT PF that I had, the Coupe, had an electronic overdrive with a button. I never tested it out. This, as far as I can tell, is just the 4-speed with no overdrive. Maybe 4th is an overdrive. It feels 1-to-1 to me. I don't know. You can correct me below. But, you know, it has plenty of torque. It has the ability, if you wanted to have a pretty tall overdrive, to get out of its own way. So I wonder if folks retrofit another rear end in these things, or just make fourth gear a bit taller. Let's get it off the highway, because the highway is not where this is going to shine. Whenever you come to a stop, because you've got these big louvers on the hood, all you see is the heat pouring out. So it always makes you a little nervous. I think a lot of old cars do that. They make you nervous just because the design is heat evacuation with the louvers, but at the same time, you're like, I don't want to see it. Lamborghinis get away with it a little bit better because those louvers are behind you. So unless you look in the mirror, you don't notice it. Revs drop super fast. This is a great engine. I gotta say, I didn't know what all the fuss was about with these E-types. I mean, I know they're beautiful. I know everybody loves them. There is something really special about driving this car, on the same level that there's something special about driving a 911, and that's saying a lot. And unlike the automatic transmission in the Series 3 that we drove, this Series 1 with the manual really lets you ring it out. It's crazy because in the same way that the old 50s Porsche Speedsters and the 356s feel, you don't need to go fast to enjoy the car. There's a big symphony happening behind you whenever you get on throttle. But everything's so ridiculously tactile. What I will say though is because you're just kind of sat in these buckets, there's no support. So any lateral movement, you've got to be holding yourself up with your own core strength for sure. But I guess the limits of the tires aren't exactly outrageous, so probably not going to need a six-pack to keep yourself elevated. But I have got to say, I am just genuinely shocked at how fast it is. I'm sure I'm repeating myself here. The throttle response is so crisp. I mean, I can't think of very many cars to compare this to in that regard. This is just, I mean, it feels like a race engine. It really does. It really does. Don't be a cop. I've located that buzzing sound. It's this little shift boot. It's right on the shifter. It's the little collar on the shifter. It's pretty confidence inspiring too. I mean, you've got to be aware of weight transfer. That's for certain. The other thing though is that because we've got this, I love a nice thin wheel for sure. That makes me feel like I'm period correct. But these wood wheels with all the lacquer or whatever on it, you get real sweaty and you always feel like you're kind of slipping on them. So I understand the need for driving gloves in cars like this. This one, I would recommend a nice set of driving gloves. A lot of modern cars get wrong is the throttle mapping, because everything's an electronic throttle. There's something really lovely about a carbureted linkaged throttle that's just so direct. I mean, you know, we talk about how cars feel today, right? And we talk about steering feel as like the number one thing. to me, there's so much more than just steering feel. You have, how does that engagement with the shifter happen? Is it direct? Are there too many bushings in place? Then you've got the clutch. Can you feel, sorry, the camera battery overheated. But then there's the clutch. Can you feel that friction point, exactly where it's gonna catch? This one catches a touch on the high side, but certainly not in an egregious way that you would even have any bother driving the car. But man, this is visceral. The revs drop quickly, which means that you've got to be really on it with this gearbox. You have to be thinking, you have to be on top of it. But when you get it right, it rewards you. That was almost right. I let the revs drop just a touch. It's so funny when you get into cars like this and you have to try to bond with them immediately. I always find with the classics, I'm trying to be nice to them. I'm trying to, like, you know, be courteous. Oh, I don't want to, I want to be gentle. I don't want to, no, you almost have to abuse these cars. You have to move a little faster than you think you need to move. But that doesn't mean you're not listening to everything. It doesn't mean you're just shoving it into gear and doing all these crazy things. It just means that you have to find its happy spot. You have to figure out the speed at which it likes to be touched. I don't know about this car, man. It's not the slow cruiser like I think of in like a 356. It eggs you on quite a bit. And unlike the early 911s, unlike a 60s 911, this gearbox is like really, really strong, really robust. You're not feeling like the, oops, that was a synchro feeling that you get in like a long nose, a long hood 911. And this gearbox reminds me more of like a Corvette than it does a 911. Ah, we've got another Jag! We gotta say hi to a Jag. Did Jags wave? Is there a Jag wave, or is that's probably not cool. That's probably very uncool for Jag people. They're like, no, we don't wave, we just acknowledge. I did make the mistake of wearing a nice brand new white hoodie today, and yeah, I seem to have been digging around under the motor, and I got it dirty already, so that lasted 0 days. There's no turn here, bud. Nobody respects the drive. Yeah, this thing's quick, dude. Like, this is quick for anything. This isn't like, oh, quick for an old car. This is a genuinely quick little car. On occasion, I'm starting to get the flicker of the fuel light, so petrol is in short supply in this vehicle at this point, but that's no surprise. Since we've got a 4.2 liter inline six, I'm sure it's thirsty. I'm sure this is not an economical vehicle. But who cares? It sounds like God himself created an inline six. So thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. I'm gonna go nurse it home. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one. There's even a little sticker in here to tell you how to break in the motor. It says, during the first 1,000 miles, do not exceed 2,500 RPM. That must have been quite difficult. Hey, everybody loves the Jag. The Jag.